Hey guys, today I have a Google Pixel 6 Pro. The screen is broken and we are going to do a screen replacement. As you saw it, the fingerprint sensor on this device is still working. The fingerprint sensor needs to be removed out of the old screen and transferred onto the new screen. This is the critical part of this screen replacement. This is a Pixel 7 Pro and it will be exactly the same thing for that device. Today I'm not using a heat gun. I will be using a hot plate to perform this screen replacement repair. After the screen has been heated to the right temperature, depending on what tool you use to heat the screen, you can insert your guitar pick at the bottom of the device and then start the removal process of the front of the device. Using a hot plate like this, I left the device on the hot plate for about 8 to 10 minutes before I started the removal process. The temperature was around 80 degrees Celsius, which was good to start the removal process of the screen. This is a cyclic process. You need to heat the screen a little bit and then grab your guitar pick and separate one side of the screen and the device and do the same thing once again. Hit the screen of the device and use your guitar pick to separate the screen from the body of the device on the other side. Since your screen is broken, the only valuable thing on the screen is the fingerprint sensor. The fingerprint sensor is glued to the screen. You can use a heat gun to separate the screen from the body of the device, but make sure that you do not hit the screen and the fingerprint sensor area too long at the highest setting on your heat gun. The Pixel 6 Pro has one screw holding the screen flex cable. After removing that screw and the retaining plate, we can disconnect the screen flex cable from the body of the device. To remove the screen, pull the screen and flex cable at the same time. It is just that easy. Again, this is the Pixel 7 Pro. The removal process of the screen is exactly the same, but in the 7 Pro, they didn't have a retaining screw that holds the screen flex cable connected to the motherboard. So back to the Pixel 6 Pro, Google has designed the fingerprint sensor to be connected to the screen. After you pull the little handle that connects the screen to the fingerprint sensor, you can remove the part that goes directly to the fingerprint sensor. So the fingerprint sensor is disconnected from the screen now. After a quick heating of the fingerprint sensor, we can start the removal process of the circuitry of the fingerprint sensor. Just grab one of your tools that is flat, very flat, and insert it between the fingerprint sensor flex cable and the screen of the device. Pull a little bit in order to start the separation of those two. So this part is very important. You need to take your time while doing this and hit the front of the device constantly and using your tool to disconnect the flex cable from the body of the screen. Also, do not try to pull vertically with a lot of force, because if the back of the screen is not hot enough, you risk to damage the fingerprint flex cable. So right now I have separated all the flex cable from the body of the screen. So we just need to remove the fingerprint sensor itself now that is connected to the screen by double-sided tape also. So here we need to hit the front of the device once again in order to soften the double-sided tape around the fingerprint sensor. The fingerprint sensor that Google used for the Pixel 6, Pixel 6 Pro and Pixel 7 Pro, Pixel 7 also, is made out of glass and plastic. The glass piece is the actual fingerprint sensor. If you pull it in the wrong way, it can crack and your fingerprint sensor is done. I found that the best way to remove the fingerprint sensor is to use a metal tool like the one that I used. It is not sharp, but it is very flat. You go under the fingerprint sensor, right on the edge only. The edge is safe to go under. If you go in the middle, it can damage the fingerprint sensor. So you go in the edge and separate the fingerprint sensor from the screen. And after that, you can see the fingerprint sensor is moving a little bit more than it was before. I'm sure you're going to be tempted to pull the fingerprint sensor vertically. If you do that, it is going to get cracked. As you just saw it, I simply pulled the fingerprint sensor right and left until the double-sided tape has no more strength and removed it. So we need to reinstall the fingerprint sensor onto the new screen. This is the new screen that I'm going to install on this Pixel 6 Pro. For the installation, make sure that you align the fingerprint sensor perfectly with the square on the screen. The square on the screen is going to look directly inside the fingerprint sensor. If it is not aligned correctly, it might get some false reading while you're trying to use your fingerprint sensor, and it is not going to work as it is supposed to. I think mine is where it is supposed to. So after that, we need to connect the fingerprint fingerprint sensor circuitry inside the screen circuit. The removal of the fingerprint sensor flex cable and the reinstallation of that fingerprint sensor flex cable can be done by hand, but if you have a tweezer, it is going to help you better. The screen is ready now to be tested. We need to test the screen before we completely seal the device. We need to connect the flex cable of the screen onto the motherboard and apply a little bit of pressure on it to make sure it is completely connected. After that, we can turn on the device and see if the screen is responding normally. One thing that you must do is to go inside the fingerprint sensor setting and register 1 or 2 fingers and test if it is working. This is very critical. If it doesn't work, something is wrong with your fingerprint sensor and you might need to buy another fingerprint sensor and recalibrate it. So I was even surprised that the fingerprint sensor worked directly without doing anything else, just plug and play. Normally with this device, if you change the screen, the fingerprint sensor might not work due to compatibility with the screen and all that. You will have to go inside the Google software, recalibrate the fingerprint sensor to work with your motherboard, or recalibrate, sync everything together. If that does not work, there is a problem with the fingerprint sensor and you might want to buy another one and test that one and see if it works. So before you reinstall the screen, you need to clean the body of the device. You need to remove all the old glue, all the old double-sided tape that is on the device. After that, apply a little bit of air to remove all the dust, everything out of the body of the device. Once you've cleaned the body of the device, you're ready to install the new screen. Before installation of the new screen, if you have some new double-sided tape, you need to install the double-sided tape on the screen if it is not already, or install the double-sided tape on the body of the device. The screen that I got didn't come with a double-sided tape, so I am using B7000 as a sealer. B7000 is electronic repair glue that is supposed to seal your device if you do any type of repair, screen replacement or back replacement. B7000 works really well. I've used it multiple times before. After that, you need to install the flex cable of the screen onto the motherboard, add the retaining plate and the screw. When those have been completed, close the screen, apply a little bit of pressure for the sealing process to start. If you have to use B7000, make sure that you do it very fast. You apply the B7000 around the device, close the device quickly before the B7000 start to get solid. So today I'm going to use this small device to apply pressure on the screen for it to seal completely. I'm going to leave the device under this press for 10 minutes. If you've done everything right, after 10 minutes you can remove the device under the press and start the inspection. I will have links to all the tools that I use inside this video for you to check out, and if you need them, you can have them. Everything went well. The screen looks brand new. This is a new screen. The device has been rejuvenated. So the issues that you may have with this screen replacement is mainly the fingerprint sensor. The fingerprint sensor will need calibration if it doesn't work right away. $190 for this screen. If you go to a shop, it is $300 to $400. I think I showed you everything that you need to know about this screen replacement, and this applies to the Pixel 7 Pro also. For a battery replacement on the Pixel 6 and Pixel 7 Pro, Pixel 6 Pro also, click the video on the screen now.